Hey fellas, yeah, I've been doing more sorting. But in the meantime, let's finish up new Phyrexia. So, we got Karn Liberated. They told us Karn was coming. They told us. And here he is as a planeswalker. I got him at the pre-release actually. He was in my sealed deck. It was nice. He will swing games. I mean, at the very least, he hits the board and he's a spine of Ishsa, if nothing else, you know? He's not bad. And I'm a horrible cameraman who trips over his own damn feet. While standing still, no less. Anyways, yeah. Karn, not bad. He's, apparently, when the set first came out, he was going for around like 25-ish, I think. He's dropped, I don't know to what, because, quite bluntly put, he's not a competitive card. He's a good card, but he's just not tournament worthy. Darksteel Relic, it's a 0 casting cost indestructible artifact that does nothing. Does nothing. It's good for Metalcraft, it's good if you need an artifact to sacrifice, it's good for raising your storm count, it's good for a lot of things really, but it doesn't do anything that no other 0 casting cost artifact does. So, there's that. Gremlin Mine, not bad in limited, because you have a lot of artifact creatures, but other than that, it's not constructed worthy. Hovermere, 1/2 Flying Vigilance for 2 mana. It's not bad. I kind of like it, but but it's also not impressive in the least. And for some reason, I only own 2 of them. Immolating Soul Eater. That's a card I underestimated the first time I saw it, and I paid for it. I was playing it. It was at the pre-release after the sealed deck at the pre-release. We also did a triple new Phyrexia draft, and I pretty much crushed my round 1 opponent because his deck was all over the place, and I was playing red-white aggro infect, and my round 2 opponent was also playing red-white, and like turn 2 he drops this thing. I didn't do anything about it, and he proceeds to beat me furiously with it. I seriously underestimated it, and I never did that again. I never did that again. Mycosynth Wellspring, it's much like the Ichor Wellspring. It comes onto the enters the battlefield, and a leaf, and a goes to graveyard. Triggered ability, that's the same. The Ichor Wellspring, it was draw a card, which made it really, really good. The Mycosynth Wellspring, search for a basic land and put it into hand. I think the Ichor Wellspring is better, but this one is still really good. Shrine of Burning Rage. Probably arguably the best shrine, or at the very least tied for best. It's 2 colorless artifact. During your upkeep or whenever you get a whenever you cast a red spell, put a charge counter on it. 3 colorless, tap and sacrifice it. Deal damage to target creature or player equal to the number of charge counters that were on it. That's awesome stuff. Shrine of Loyal Legions, the shrine that best competes with the one with Burning Rage. In this case, it triggers on white instead of red spells, and it gives you 1/1 mirror tokens when you pop it. That's awesome. I only managed to pick up 2 of them so far. The Torpor Orb, it was designed to it was kind of designed to hose stuff like Fletch's nuts. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head. It's a core creature from Zendikar block that when he hits the board you tutor for on equipment. It also has an ability that puts equipment directly into play. A Torpor Orb was designed to try and neuter that card, and of course is a fun, happy side effect. Anything else with a nasty comes into play ability. Whether it be an advantage or a drawback, take your pick. I mean, for example, you could play this with, say, Phyrexian Dreadnought, so you don't have to sack a whole bunch of stuff. Or Leveler, so you don't have to like remove your deck from the game. But it ended up not being efficient enough at what it did, and the Stoneforge Mystic, that's what it's called. The Stoneforge Mystic ended up getting banned. Alloy Mirror, 3 colors for a 2/2 mirror. That's tap for 1 of any color. It's not bad. Blinding Soul Eater, 3 mana for a 1/3 that you pay Phyrexian white and tap it to tap down a creature. It's not bad. It's not bad. I don't think I'd play it if I wasn't playing white, but well. Kilnwalker, it's a 0/3 that gets +3/+0 when it attacks. It's kind of interesting. Don't think I really. It's interesting. I don't think I'd ever play it, but it's interesting. Pristine Talisman. Tap for 1 life and 1 mana. Since it's a mana source, it's one of the few life gain abilities that doesn't use the stack. A fun, happy piece of trivia there. Yeah, I do have a playset. Okay. Shrine of Boundless Growth. It's the green shrine. Triggers on a green spell or during upkeep for counters. You tap and sack it for an amount of colorless mana equal to number of charge counters on it. I'm not impressed by it. I mean, yeah, I can generate a crap ton of mana, but if you're playing green, there are generally better ways to do that. Shrine of Limitless Power. Triggers on black, you pay 4 colors, tap and sacrifice it. You to make your opponent discard cards equal to the number of charge counters on it. It's too slow for discard. It really is. I don't know why Wizards insists on playing like really high cost discard spells and effects. It's like, seriously, guys? There's no point to them. If you're playing discard, you're playing it aggressively. I mean, right out of the gate, you're making your opponent discard. When you've got discard effects that go off on turn 5, 6, 7, they're generally pointless because you've already ripped your opponent's hand to living hell. Sickle Slicer, it's a living equipment for 3, equips for 4, +2/+2. It's not bad. I don't know if I've ever played it, if I'd ever go so far as to play it in Constructed, but it's not bad by itself. At least not in Limited. Remember how I said I was playing Red-White in the Triple New Phyrexia draft at the pre-release? Yeah, I opened that in Pack 2. Yeah, Sword of War and Peace. So, against my second round opponent, Game 1, he Ruffle Stomped me. Games 2 and 3, that came up in my opening hand in both. And he was also playing Red-White. So I just, turn 3, tap 3 lands, put it down, sort of, you lose. That summed it up. It's a fun card, I like it. It's probably not as good as the other two. Honestly, it's probably the weakest in the Sword of This and That cycle. Going back to the original Mirrodin, you've got the Sword of Light and Shadow, Sword of Fire and Ice, and then in Scar's block we've got the Sword of Feast and Famine, and the Sword of Body and Mind, and now we've got the Sword of War and Peace, and arguably War and Peace is the weakest of them. Arguably. Which is kind of funny, because it's still really good. Trespassing Soul Eater, 2/2 that becomes unblockable on Phyrexian Blue. It's not bad at all. Card's sliding all over the place. Insatiable, another one of the Soul Eaters. It's a 5/1. Gains trample on Phyrexia green. I don't like it. I just don't. Isolation Cell. 4 mana. Whenever an opponent casts a creature spell, that player loses 2 life unless they pay an extra 2 colorless. It's not a bad card. I don't know if I'd use it in Constructed, but outside of that, it's pretty good. You know, it's a nice way to sneak some extra damage in there. Lash Writhe. It's a living equipment. Quick creature gets +1/+1 for each swamp you control. It equips for double Phyrexia in black. You can easily drop this thing turn 4 and just and then put it onto a creature and then you'll basically pay 4 life to effectively kill the token and throw this on a creature that isn't summoning sick. I can't remember what it was called, but there's actually a very similar equipment in the original Mirrodin block. Can't remember what it was called, but it was like a flame. It did look like a flaming lash, and it gave the equipped creature +1/+1 for each swamp you control. Okay, sounds fun stuff. Only one of those. Unwinding Clock. I ended up with a bunch of those. 4 colorless artifacts. Untap all artifacts you control during each other player's untap. That can do some serious fun. It can effectively give your artifact creatures vigilance. Any artifact with a special ability, you can effectively use it twice. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do with that thing. Artifact mana sources. Yeah, that's the one that strikes me as the most interesting right there. Is artifact-based mana sources. But hey ho. Pestilent Soul Eater. Yeah, it's another one of the Soul Eaters. 5 mana for 3/3. Pump Phyrexia in black to give it effect till end of turn. I'm not wild about it, but I guess it's alright. I'm just not wild about it, that's all. And it's sliding all over the place. Necropouncer. Living weapon, equipped creature gets +3/+1, has haste for 6 mana, but it equips for 2. The equip cost is really, really nice. Unfortunately, the base casting cost is really high, you know? Yeah, I'm not thrilled by it. Just not thrilled. Phyrexian Hulk is a reprint. It's a big, dumb, fatty artifact. That's all you can really say about it. And he's a reprint. Soul Conduit, 6 to play, 6 in tap, 2 target players exchange life totals. This thing can be a real... I can see this being a horrific pain in the buttocks in, like, any kind of, like, multiplayer, free-for-all type environment, like Commander usually is. Yeah, kid science, fun stuff. Phyrexia's Core, only got one of them. Taps for colorless, or 1 in tap, sack an artifact to gain a life. I mean, it's a sacrifice engines for things like Ichor Wellspring and Mycosynth Wellspring, but or any other artifact that's more beneficial when it dies. But yeah, I'm not terrifyingly impressed by it. It's okay. And there's a lot of cards that people make work even in competitive environments that I look at and they just don't impress me, but people make them work. I'm not going to ask for an explanation on that. Not going to ask. Oh, what else? Well, sorting through core set cards last night, I was very pleased at one point to open up a box and find an M10 Lightning Bolt complete with the lovely flavor text referencing how long long it had been out of print. I also find it curious that in all the stuff I'm going through, I've got like 3 cards from Unlimited. All well and good. I wasn't playing when Unlimited came out. Bunch of stuff from Revised. A bunch of stuff from 4th and Chronicles. More stuff than I expected from 5th, which is really kind of funny because I didn't buy a lot of 5th. I'm guessing I picked it up off of collections I absorbed. Not a fair amount of 6th. Not a whole hell of a lot. 5th and 6th overall were disappointing core sets. Though 6th brought a really nice rules change. 7th was a return to better core sets. I don't have any 8th, and I got like 2 cards from 9th, but I'm sure I'll find more. So anyway, there's that. New Phyrexia. It's done. What that means is all I've got left to sort through now are core sets. And I've got 2 boxes worth of core set stuff sitting here, and 1, 2, 3, 4 more boxes hiding here. Yeah, I got 4 more boxes worth of core stuff hiding here. So we'll see how this goes. We'll see how this goes. It's gotta be interesting. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, right now as I'm sorting through it, I've got Japanese, Chinese, and Korean in little separate stacks, and then I have another stack for those Latin-based languages. You know, Italian, Spanish, French, Portuguese if I come across it. I don't think I have. I'm not sure if I have any Portuguese cards. I'll be perfectly honest. Portuguese is a really tough one to tell apart from Spanish at times, especially when you don't know the language. I don't speak any of those languages, but I actually have an easier time telling the Asian languages apart than I do the Latin-based ones. Ain't that bizarre? But oh well, such as it is. I'll catch you guys later. Be good, be safe, be something, yada yada, so forth and whatnot. And oh, just in case my buddy Jan from down at Scholars is watching this video, hey Jan, got a couple dual lands here. That doesn't mean they're available for trade. I'm just saying I found them. Jan is always hungry for stuff like that. I'm honestly surprised he hasn't mortgaged Vital Organs to try and get them. Oh well, be good fellas.